started. Who all in here is either in a startup or is thinking about doing a startup? Okay, look to your left, look to your right. 1 out of every 3 startups will actually succeed. It's going to be you, don't worry. Okay, so the next session is about startups funding in Hong Kong. So it's really focused on what's going on here. We're hopefully trying to provide some practical things for Hong Kong. So probably a lot of you were here for the earlier panel, but this is kind of running through it very, very quickly. Within a startup, you start with a concept, you move on to figure out what it is that you can actually make money on, and then hopefully you make money. So if you want to know more, some really good resources, you can find it on leanstartuppbworks.com and also Startup Lessons Learned. Go there, that's a great starting point, or also talk to any of us. So at the same time, a startup goes through a life cycle of funding, what they need, and kind of the levels of funding keep on growing from left to right. So you start out with seed funding, and then you keep on going to growth funding, which is basically making the business profitable, trying to find the right size, and then hopefully, especially if you have investors, you're looking towards an exit. So I'm going to go over all these in a little bit more detail. Now, in Hong Kong right now, the most common way that people fund startups is by bootstrapping, which means that a lot of us are consultants, or maybe we have second jobs or whatever it is, and that's just kind of the most practical way right now. In other markets, friends, family, and fools, it's the 3 Fs is what everybody talks about. Now, the only thing is, in Hong Kong, with the real estate market, with stocks, everything being just so advantageous, it's very difficult to get the 3 Fs to actually invest in you. One thing that we do have starting to grow is microfunds. And with especially software-based startups, but other startups with rapid prototyping and things like that, where the cost has gone down, microfunds can come into play. We have the Creative Microfund through Cyberport here, which they're actually looking to do, to keep on going with that program. And I think there's a great opportunity to start a microfunding incubator in Hong Kong, which if anybody's interested, come talk to me. I'm curious to start one. And then the next part for seed funding would be a seed angel investor, which we do have some in Hong Kong. The only tricky thing is all these deals are done in private, so it's difficult to gauge really how active the seed funding is as far as seed angel funding. So now with growth funding in Hong Kong, the biggest option are bank loans. Those are either backed by the government or just general bank loans. With incubators, you've got one here, InkyTrain, they spoke this morning. You've got InnoCenter, which is in Kowloon Tong, and you've got InnoTech, which is up in Science Park. As far as angel investors, there are angel investors here. There's angel investment groups, if you look around. But again, they're all private deals, and so it's kind of difficult to gauge exactly how much action there is. And then the next bigger step up is venture capital. Venture capital, you're looking at much larger funds, and generally, you don't have a whole lot of companies that are getting to that stage here yet. I think we have to develop the ecosystem more to where you've got enough companies to consistently do that. We do have some companies locally that have had venture capital rounds recently. So talking about the incubators, because they are good resources for startups. So if you're into digital creative lifestyle, media, games, animation, whatever, you might want to check out InkyTrain. They're here at Cyberport. They're having an intake this coming August 16th, I think. Innotech at Science Park is very similar, but it's more focused on just general technology. And then you've got InnoCenter, which is more design focused. So if you're a designer that does product designs or product marketing, you might look at InnoCenter. And then SURAP it's basically a loan that is given to entrepreneurs for doing the development work. So, and each of those have kind of different constraints, different things that they can help you with. For InkyTrain, and this is actually the same for all of the incubators, generally you're looking at about $350,000 of funding that you might be able to get, but it's matching funds. So again, you have to have some funds to match with that. So you also get free office space, you get some facilities, and they're good programs. SURAP, you've got up to $4 million, and you have to use it for development only. So once you move into production, that's it, money's cut off. So it's a little bit better matched for companies that are established that have a better idea of what their budget is going to be, and also have a much tighter idea of what the development timeline is going to be. Now, once you do all this work and your company's successful, hopefully you have an exit. If you have an investor, the lifestyle business may not be quite so appetizing to them. A lifestyle business is a business that you do that can provide you a lifestyle. And you know what? Honestly, this is what you should be focused on to start with. Come up with something that is going to help you. And it's great to have plans on how to grow it, but figure out how to feed your family first. Merger and acquisitions potentially do happen. So, a good example, Outblaze. They were acquired by IBM. It does happen around here. Generally, you have to build up to a much larger company to be able to get to this point. And then IPO. There's a lot of different ways of doing IPO. Generally, you need a good reason for why it makes sense. And then a lot of times this will be tied together with a venture capitalist as far as, this is an easy way for them to exit. So it may or may not be that relevant to a lot of the startups in Hong Kong. I'll post this up later on online. All the slides for today will be posted online. And but these are good resources to look at. Now, before I get into the funding panel itself, I wanted to make a really quick announcement about boot.hk. I had some great news over lunch. We actually have secured all the funding that we need to launch boot.hk. And so now we need members. So please come to boot.hk, join up, join the discussion group, be an active part of the community. Think about what things you want to do, and just come and be part of the community.